Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Alexis, and I'm the ICC Academy Administrator. Very happy to be here today to share all the information that you're going to receive today. It's going to be very, very interesting. We are going to be hearing from Raechel Ford, our ICC trainer from New Zealand, about all the benefits and the wonders that coaching can do for your business. But before we get into, before we go down to business, I would like to see if you can hear and see the screen. If you can hear me and see the screen, if you could please raise your hand with the little hand icon that you have on the computer or on your application, on your mobile. Okay, good. It seems you can hear me fine. Good, thank you. I'm going to ask you if you have any questions during the session. Please write them in the questions panel. You can see the question mark. And any comments you have, any questions you have, any issues you want to clarify, just simply write them there. And when the time comes, we're going to be analyzing and answering your questions. So I'm going to leave it with Raechel Ford, our trainer from New Zealand. And Raechel, thank you very much for being with us and welcome.
Thank you, Alexis. That's a great introduction. And from me, also welcome to those of you who have made it to the webinar. And it's lovely to be able to do this sort of thing together to share with you information from another country and share it with other countries who are online at the moment. So, look, what was important for us today is to talk about coaching, and in particular ICC, which is the International Coaching Community, and helping you to understand how it transformed our business here in New Zealand. And I think the first thing I will say is that our business operates in both New Zealand and Australia, so we span across two countries doing our work with the ICC. So you'll see on the screen, I'm just going to give you a few slides as I speak, and just to keep us on track so you know what topic I'm talking about. So look, as part of the introduction, as I said, so talking about our business and what has the ICC done for us, and also an insight into coaching itself. So let me start by talking about who ilume International is. So ilume is the business that I am a part of with my business partner Angela Neighbours. Both Angela and I are very much looking forward to coming to the conference in Jakarta, which of course is in February. And I have details of that at the end of my presentation for those of you who are interested in coming to the conference to hear us speak on the stage along with some other excellent speakers. So ilume International was started nearly 10 years ago now, and we began our business in New Zealand, and then we grew our business and are based across the two countries in New Zealand and Australia. Those of you who are familiar with New Zealand, we are based out of the biggest city in New Zealand, which is Auckland, and we do our work in Wellington and Christchurch, two other big cities in New Zealand. We are an executive coaching and people development business. So one of the things I will talk about in the webinar today is how we took it from a small executive coaching company to a fully operational people development company that offers many different programs of work, not just executive coaching. We have several people who work with us who do coaching, different types of coaching and different types of human development or people development practices. And 10 years ago when we started out, there was just two of us. Now we have a team of approximately 10 people working together, and we work internationally. So just a bit more of a detail around what it is we do. We take the coaching beyond the one-on-one coaching, and we do team coaching, so that's one coach with many. We also run coach training. So our journey with the ICC has been very fruitful for us in regards to building a training company as well, upon which we deliver the coach training. And we do leadership development programs. So we take groups of leaders from large organisations away for programs of work up to 8 days, where they go off-site and do work together around their leadership and around their coaching ability with their people and business. And that's pretty much what we do. The ICC journey for us truly has transformed our business. It was delightful to get the opportunity to talk to you about this today, because it is a story that we feel is worthy of sharing, because we took upon the journey with a lot of faith and hoping that it was going to help us be better than what we were. In finding the ICC, we searched far and wide. When you live in a country like New Zealand, which is quite small, and we always sort of have a bit of a laugh down here, we are at the bottom of the world, and it's quite hard for us to try and find practices and organisations to be a part of that are worthy of that. So in finding the ICC, we went through a long process of researching all of the coaching communities in the world, including other big players. And what we found was that the ICC had the best process. It offered what we felt was the most connected community and the very best training program. So certification and qualification for our business was key, and what we knew with the ICC, with the training program that was well researched, had been built up by the founding directors of the ICC and qualified by other players, meant that that was the best opportunity for us to engage with that group. So I think after travelling the world, we actually ended up going from New Zealand to a conference, an ICC conference, like many of you may be thinking of doing. We do believe to try the conference is a very good way of engaging with an organisation that you might want to be a part of. So we went to a conference in Portugal. We were delighted in the conference and the people that we met and everything that was happening. So we therefore then flew to India, where we took our training. So that was fun. So from Portugal to India, and then we went back to Mallorca in Spain to do some more training with the ICC. So we had a delightful time travelling the world and coming back home and setting up the ICC here in New Zealand. So look, you know, to get a taste of it, to meet people, the conference is the best place to do that. So why ICC coaching? For us, it's about leadership. ICC, we believe or feels, really leads the world in coaching practice and its ability to connect with its community. The leadership of Joseph O'Connor and Andreas Larges is outstanding, and there's a very good board of directors who ensure that we are doing what is right for the ICC, which is following the vision and the purpose to coach the world and to provide excellence in training programs and coaching practice. There is an enormous amount of experience in the ICC. If you took every member of the ICC and added up their years of experience, I'm sure we would all be astounded with the length of service people have in this particular industry. Coaching is something that is becoming very much about methodology and qualification, and the ICC has an enormous amount of experience in that area. The longevity is important. It has been operating since very much the early 2000s, so it isn't just something that's just been started. This has been around for a very long time and has some very top quality coaches and businesses as part of its community. ICC coaching for us was important because it provided training pathways. So though the ICC is most well known for its foundation training program, which is the 8-day course that you can go on to get your first certification, there are plenty more pathways to go along once you have done that training. The support that we have as somebody who is being qualified as a coach is very good in the ICC. There is massive amount of online support, webinars, things you can do and conferences you can attend. But I think also as an ICC trainer I can speak for on behalf of a training community who come together and learn together and support each other to continue to provide outstanding training for those people who are part of the community. So let's have a bit of a look at why ICC, or how ICC helped to transform our business. If 10 years ago our business, when it started out, as I said, had 2 people, it now has 10 people in it, and we have grown it 5 times the size of what it was when we started. We believe that it first of all stems from coaching and good coaching practice. So many of you will be very familiar with coaching in the world and how coaching is growing rapidly as an industry, and particularly in emerging countries, particularly Southeast Asia, where there is a lot of new industry and new business evolving, and therefore the requirement for people to lead people or lead staff in a different way. So for us, it's understanding what good coaching practice is. What we have noticed over the past 10 years is that there is no longer an opportunity for people just to pretend they know what they're doing and be engaged by organisations to carry out coaching work. We know that you must know what good coaching practice is and have a very strong methodology. So coaching itself now is a word that is being used every day in business, and recent studies are showing that 97% of businesses now understand the practice of coaching and use the practice of coaching in their business and will engage external coaches to work in their business. It's a really important statistic to know, because 10 years ago that statistic was only at around about 55%. So it's been a massive, rapid increase in the utilisation of coaching as a practice inside organisations. That's important for us because at ilume our main focus is working with business and doing executive coaching practices with businesses. So I think most of you probably know also coaching in today's business world has shown in many surveys by employees to be the thing they look for. It's either the first or the second most desired quality in today's leaders. So culture surveys and pulse surveys are all showing that it's not about money, it's not about where you work, it's about how well can the person you work for mentor and coach you in the most appropriate way. So the qualification, what we say in terms of transforming the business, the qualification through ICC was one of the most important things for our business. There is a big difference now, particularly in the New Zealand and Australian markets, between qualified and unqualified coaches. We know that being a qualified coach gets you to the front of the queue now. So, and I think that is said in a way that we feel as though we would not be working with integrity anyway if we were not qualified as coaches. And the ICC gave us a very clear pathway and a fantastic program to become qualified. Now, the interesting story we have to tell is that we got this qualification even though we had quite a lot of experience in the market. We had many years of coaching in the past, but still, and so we're engaged by that. by certain customers, but it wasn't until we were qualified with an international qualification that our business really started to grow. So to have a qualification as a coach, we know that builds credibility, and it's definitely a big leverage point for building a coaching business. And we also feel as though that with the ICC we work with distinction. So when we go into organisations, particularly when you're meeting organisations across the globe or internationally, many organisations know the ICC. They are pleased to hear and understand that a coach who has done the ICC qualification is working with distinction, and that there is very, very little disappointment or questions against why would we not work with somebody in the ICC. The thing for us, once we had made sure we had our training under our belt, was to change our business model of our business, of which ICC helped us to do. So we built new arms of what we had to offer to the market. So as I had said before, we had originally only been in the market with an offer of one-on-one coaching practice, and though qualifications strengthened that and got us more business, the ICC provided us with far many more opportunities to provide other services into the business market here. So for example, team coaching, and team coaching is a real of coaching practice, and that is something we have definitely quickly got trained on and are now training in our market for others to run that practice as well. And our leadership development programs and other things that we do here at Ilume are definitely bounded and they have a great foundation for the work we've done with ICC. So we call it a multi-layered coaching approach. And there's not many people in markets who are doing that. There are still many one-on-one coaches, as opposed to coaching companies who are offering multiple things for organisations. What we know is that organisations appreciate that and like to see companies who can offer more than one model of coaching. We also at Ilume have been able to offer a training opportunities. So as being members of the ICC training group, we offer the coach training here in New Zealand, and also we are hoping to offer the program in Australia very soon. So what we have found for our business is that companies in New Zealand have seen us as highly credible because we are training the coaches that they eventually will use in the market or in their businesses. So that has grown our business quite extensively. For us, the transforming of the business included coaches joining our business in different formats. So what we found with the ICC is that it offered us a way of engaging coaches into our own business. Because of the robust training format, we are able to get people to come on the training program and see if they're going to be a good fit for coaching, first and foremost. Of course, that is what the qualification is about. And therefore also a methodology for understanding, are they going to be able to be good executive coaches for Ilume International? So that has been a really neat way for us to meet more people, to offer more training, and then also to offer more people employment or an opportunity to coach under our brand. I think the feedback we've been given by people who have come in under our training and come through the ICC work that we do is that international recognition is very important, because most people who live in New Zealand will work overseas at some stage in their lives or live overseas. So the ICC's robust international recognition is very important to them, and also helps us as a business to work with other organisations. as you would probably well know, a lot of businesses who operate in New Zealand have their headquarters elsewhere, for example, in Australia or in the United States or the UK. And that this methodology in the ICC allows us to show what we do in New Zealand and how that can be also done in different countries. Also, the community of coaches that we have, our colleagues are able to use the same methodology as us if we were doing group work across the globe. So our ICC involvement today, the practices are to go to global conferences, and that's a big part of what keeps us fresh and learning new things. The conferences are a great place to meet others, learn new methodologies, understand what's happening in the world of coaching, and of course it gives us an opportunity to speak as speakers. And we attend training workshops that are regularly put on, and of course for us in New Zealand it's always so nice to get on a plane and go somewhere new, so we have been all over the world doing training workshops with ICC and learning new levels of coaching and development. There are webinars, of course, online resources, and what's probably at the heart of this is the community of colleagues we have in the ICC. And one thing that we always find is the welcoming, friendly nature of people in the ICC, and how we have created many great friendships, lasting friendships over the years that we have been a member of the ICC. So look, I hope I have given you some good information about coaching, the ICC, and what it might be for you to come to the conference, what it might mean for you to come to the conference, which is on Saturday the 18th of February at the Intercontinental in Jakarta. We would be delighted to have your attendance there and to give you some insights, more insight into why the ICC is a great community to belong to and why coaching is such a good practice for businesses and organisations. So look, I'd love to hear some questions, and I'd love to have just a general discussion for those of you online who would like to ask any questions.
Okay, so let's give a minute. If you have any questions or comments, this is the time. Please write them down on the questions panel, and we will be looking at them. We're going to give a minute for you to write questions that you may have. All right, let's see. Laura is asking, how much is the ICC recognized through the worldwide coaching business? Because we know the different activities to be updated, but is the coaching community aware of that?
I was just kind of answering the first part of the question, how much is it recognised? I think in Europe, or in Europe, New Zealand, and Australia, and South America, it's very well recognised. There are some countries that don't recognise it as much as others, but there is no doubt the ICC positions itself as with great communication. So there's about 3 major players in the market for coaching communities, and the ICC is one of those, which is a very powerful position to have. So I would say it is quite highly recognised, probably not the most recognised, but quite highly recognised in the market. I'm not quite sure, Laura, if I understood the question about the activities.
Yes, I'm not quite sure I understand it. Maybe Laura, if you can rephrase, or I don't know if your native language is maybe Spanish. If you want to write your question in Spanish, I could translate it for Rachel. Make it a little bit more clear. I'm not sure you mentioned this, but I just want to add a little comment to the question. And at the ICC, we are over 11,000 coaches that belong to the ICC around the world, which is a very important number for our coaching community.
Hmm. I think I'm also sharing that it's, 52 countries. I think if I'm right, Alexis, that ICC is currently established in with a very large trainer group now who train in all of those countries, which makes it a very well-established organisation that will have very good visibility in all of those 52 countries.
Yes, yes, indeed. Well, let's see if okay. Laura says everything that we are attending in order to be updated. We know we are doing everything to develop our practice. I'm not sure this is key. Rachel, I'm going to read it again. She says, everything that we are attending in order to be updated, we know we are doing everything to develop our practice.
Laura, I'm wondering if you're saying when you do things with the ICC or update things, it must be to develop your practice. Perhaps that's what you're asking. And if that is, I'll speak from our perspective. Anything that we have done with the ICC, be it a conference or a training program, or even just a meeting of the trainers or our colleagues, we believe or we feel has developed our practice. And I think that's why I felt it was such an important, although brief story to tell. Across 10 years now, we've been with the ICC probably 8 of those 10 years, 7 or 8 of those 10 years. We would not be where we are now without the continually developing practices we learn and build through the ICC back here in our own business.
And also, if I may add, yes, through the idea of our coaching community, and basically that's my area within the ICC, is to continuously provide sometimes free training for our coaches and sometimes other specialized courses that come from our specialized trainers around the world. We partner with trainers in different parts of the world that are experts at a certain tool, a recent trend, maybe a new discovery or something. Maybe this trainer has written a book or developed a system. And we try to provide all our community with all these latest updates in the coaching area. So we're constantly giving free webinars with new information. We are constantly developing virtual or distance learning courses that may last, from a month up to 2 or 3 months, and you actually get certified in this course. So we are continuously making or helping our coaches to be as updated as they can be, the latest trends and discoveries and advances in the coaching world. I'm not sure if that answers your question, Laura. Well, let's see if anybody else has any other questions or comments. You meant if the efforts are recognized for all the worldwide coaches? Yes, you are, as a coach, as an ICC coach, your efforts are recognized worldwide. And you can actually coach anywhere in the world with our certification.
I'm wondering if anyone had thoughts or questions about different types of coaching. One of the things we will be presenting at the conference is the impact of what is called developmental coaching. So one thing that the ICC is very good at, to Alexis's point, is that keeping up with current trends that people in organisations or leaders in organisations are looking for. One of those things is the difference between behavioural and developmental coaching. Now, I could speak for 2 hours on that, but I won't. But that is something that may interest some of you to come and learn about at the conference itself. We will be speaking to that to give you just a little bit more insight into a different, a very powerful style of coaching that is being grown across the world.
All right. It seems there are no more questions, Raechel.
Okay.
Is there anything else you'd like to add before we finish?
Yes, I'd like you, so for those of you who would like more information, Irene Corrie is a great contact for you, who is running the conference in Jakarta. So her name, Irene Corrie, IreneCorry, and Irene has an email address, and I'm sorry I haven't got it on the screen here, but it is, I'm actually going to type it on here into the questions.
Don't worry about it. You can just mention it, and I'm going to write it here in the questions now for everyone.
Okay, all right, well, I'll just do that. So I'm in the middle of it anyway. So Irene Corrie at nlp-spot.com. So I hope you can all see that. It has come up there. And so if you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to ask Irene, or if you want to know more about the coaching conference, please contact Irene Corrie.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much, Raechel. This was very, very relevant information. It was all very clear. And thank you to everyone who attended. We hope to see you as part of our coaching community very soon. And also, if you can attend the Congress, that would be great also as well. I know you're going to benefit greatly from it. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Raechel.
Thank you, Alexis.
And we will be seeing you soon. Good night, everyone.
Good night.